Virtually every meaningful application deals with data in one form or another. One of the challenges that has faced application developers has been how to attach that data to the view, to the user interface. Data binding in WPF is a powerful tool to automate the connection between data and the view of that data. It tremendously reduces the amount of code, simplifies your application development, greatly enhances reliability, and is the foundation for MVVM that we'll be discussing later in this course. The simplest form of data binding is one-way binding, in which data is bound from its source, that is the object that holds the data, to its target, that is the object that displays the data. In two-way binding, the user is able to modify the data through the user interface and have that data updated in the source. If the source changes while the user is looking at the view, you want the view to be updated. The iNotify property change interface facilitates updating the view when the underlying data changes. It is also possible to bind not to a standard data source, but rather to another element on the page. When you are binding, you are going to be binding properties of your data source to your data target. The data context is the source itself and says this is the object whose properties you're binding from. You can bind not only individual pieces of data, but collections of data. And these can be bound to controls such as list boxes and combo boxes. When you do, you will need to tell the list what part of the data to display. And you will do that with data templates. At times, the data does not lend itself to the display control. The types are too different, and the display is inappropriate for the type of data. Data binding in WPF supports data conversion, which converts the data at the source to the type expected at the target. Another important aspect of data binding is ensuring that the data is valid. Many of the data binding controls support data validation. As you can see, there's a great deal to data binding. Let's look at a series of demos that will illustrate each of these points.